Hey everyone, today we're going to do a bit of a look at the market, see what's going on, just a bit of a quick overview of what we looked at the last few days. I'm not going to try and keep this too long, so you can make on Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin Bankers. Please like, subscribe, share, all the usuals. It just helps us in our algorithms and stuff to get noted a bit more, and if we can click those buttons, that really helps. Let's get into it. Let's have a bit of a look. Okay, so we're looking at Bitcoin here, and it's still working in this, what I'm calling a bull flag. It did drop out of it a little bit yesterday and come right down. There was a bit of a scare probably for a few people, but it was good to have that because that's kind of pushed everything down a little bit, sold off some sort of lingering orders and things like that. Bit of a long squeeze there too, probably trying to knock a few people out of their positions. But we've had this bounce back into the channel. I could bring this down, but it wouldn't really make a lot of sense if I brought it down, you know. So I'm going to actually leave it where it was. Put it about here, and it could go like that. Even if you want to do sort of put it here like this, looking at a descending wedge kind of thing here. Bitcoin is really oversold on the stochastic as well, so that's a good sign. I think there might be a bit more booming up, but there is a couple of little things we've got to watch out for. Okay, so go to the 1 hour. Really overbought on the 1 hour, so probably going to have a bit of that pullback. We might see it sort of drop down to sort of this area, to 61 again. Bit hard to tell. I don't think there's a lot of selling action after all this yesterday, so looking okay for now. I think it might just keep lingering in this channel. If we can sort of pull back to here a little bit more, maybe even down to here. We don't want this, but even in this range from 61,100 to 60,300, if it sort of lands around this area, we might sort of start seeing that 4 hour kick in and give it a nice big push up again. Okay, on the daily, again, still coming down. Might see a bit more of a sell-off. It's in this channel here, so a bit hard to see where it goes back to, but we still have a really strong support along this 59 mark and the 60 mark. So yeah, really strong support. It was strong resistance before. I think it can pretty much maintain that that support there. I'm going to move this over a little bit. I did say the 17th we would see something, but on the daily, it's actually the 19th. So, but the 17th is today, my time, in Australia here. So we are still seeing, if we go back to 4 hour, we are still seeing quite a, we did see quite a lot of action there on the 17th and a buyback, this bounce back, so a bit tough to see where Bitcoin's going at the moment. I think it's just going to cool off a bit more, and we might get a bit more pump, maybe back up to and over the 63 range. It's going to try and shoot for the 64, I think, over the next few days. And we really want to see it go up to the 65, 66 range. I want to see it get over this high. Okay, if we can see it pull over 64.6 and with still a lot of momentum going, we might see a nice pump there. However, let's have a look. The weekly still have the strong candles, of course. They'll be there for a while. The stochastic is showing that it is starting to bottom out on the oversold region. However, that could just take a long time to sort of cool off. So if we've got the daily starting to pull back and the hourly pulling back, with the 4 hour in between with a bit of power, it's probably still going to hang around in this range a little bit longer. I don't think it'll really crack sort of 62, 63. It'd be good to see it, but we'll have to wait and see how we go. So that's Bitcoin. If we look at Ethereum, Ethereum is still strong on the weekly, looking pretty good. The stochastic's coming up for a bit of a crossover here, but that still might take another 2 weeks. On the daily, again, a lot of sort of overbought energy going on there. Let's have a look here. So we've broken this triangle well and truly now. I think that's looking pretty good. If we're going to sort of have this drop back on the daily, we'll probably see it come back to the 2174. Maybe cool off to that sort of area there. It's reasonably strong support there at the moment. I can't really see it having a really bad dump, but I think they're holding steady at the moment. It just depends what this is going to do here. We've got the 4 hourly, it's starting to curve over, and normally that's going to, what I've seen it do is it can sort of curve over and come back down like that, and you have this dip, and she sort of drops down to the 22 sort of region there. So if you want to be taking some profit now, probably a good idea. The other thing it can do, I'm just going to do that. The other thing it can do, I've seen it do, is when it starts curling over like this, if they were a bit closer, it could sort of go along and then just have a sharp shoot up. You know what I mean? It tends to have that kind of sharp shoot up here. But it depends on the lower time frames, and what's happening at the moment, the lower time frames, that they are overbought. So I'm expecting maybe a bit more of a pullback, just a small one. Whoops. Just a small pullback. Nothing major. I'm just going to change my cursor over. But yeah, holding steady. I think it's going to be a bit more of a slower ride. We could get a big pump out, but I think at the moment it's going to keep trying to sort of challenge this high here at the moment. 25 is a pretty strong mental region for a lot of people. It almost sort of got up to that 2600 where we were aiming to. There was our original target here. It did break over that. It's pulled back because of Bitcoin. They fell back in sync. Had a really big sell-off, which is good. And it's now just hanging around there. I think it's just going to stay pretty weak at the moment and just kind of take its time. Maybe next week or two, towards the end of April, we might see that sort of pump off a bit more. But for now, you know, if you want to take some profit, that's probably a good idea. For me, I probably will. I was going to do it the other day, but I kind of saw these moves and I thought, when it was up here, I thought, oh, maybe we could just push to the 26, but it didn't. It dumped, so I've just held back on so I can gain some of that extra profit back, and I'm ready to sell it here. Okay, Cardono. Again, on the 4 hour, a lot of the 4 hours in a lot of these coins are looking really strong, but we've had a big pump lately, and that's kind of pushed it up a bit. But volume has decreased quite a lot on a lot of these coins. However, generally speaking, a lot of these are pretty bullish. You know, the market is very, very bullish. Yeah, we're seeing some really dumb coins get some massive profits. And that's okay. You know, if you're trading them, I hope you had a good profit out of that. That'd be great. But so what's happening with a lot of these coins is on the 4 hour, they're kind of moving into this range where you can really see some strong movement and challenge these former highs. But the 1 hour's in the way, and the 30 minutes kind of in the way as well, you know. Yeah, that's a little bullish, but that's not going to go too far. Yeah, it's going to struggle. There's a bit of struggle going on. So the 2 hour looks pretty good. You know, so we've just got these issues with the mid time range of 30 minutes to an hour, just kind of causing a bit of delay, slowing things down a little bit, slowing the price down. Normally the high time frames do win out, but when there's a lot of overbought signage here, all the indications, this can slow it down. They can keep going along. It just depends how bullish the market is, and even though the altcoin's bullish, Bitcoin itself is not that bullish. Ethereum's pretty bullish. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's crazy bullish, but it's like, it is, but there's a few things seem to be holding this market back, believe it or not. I think a lot of them could shoot quite higher in the next few weeks. Be interesting to see. A lot of them breaking out of these triangles and substantially staying quite above them. If there is any pullback behavior that's going to happen, it's still going to maintain support, along this region here, because it's been a strong resistance in the past. So all over, it's pretty bullish indications for a market to go higher. You know what I mean? Overall. So I think people are just really trying to find what coins are cooling off, what ones are getting hotter. I did VeChain the other day. Yesterday I bought VeChain. It's not VeChain, Verge. Sorry, it was Verge. Verge coin. Let's have a look. Verge Tether, that'll do. It doesn't really matter what market you're looking on here. So I bought Verge yesterday around, I think it was 67. Had a nice fair, about 47 to 52% pump. That's a big pump. And I just sold it probably an hour ago, and I took a nice 50% profit on what I put in. I only invested a very small amount, and it gave me a nice little boost for the day, so that was good. All in all, Verge, it was looking pretty strong earlier, and now it's kind of just teetered off. The 1 hourlies are sort of kicking in, and the 4 hourly is starting to get overbought here, so I'm glad I did get out. There's your 9. Letting you know it's probably going to pull back a little bit. Whenever things start really moving and pulling away from the moving average, and then you get this indicator here, there's time to sort of maybe take some profit. Look, there could be a little burst out, but if you got in here and got out here, then that's a nice profit, Learn to take your profits and work small. Just work in small little gains, man, and take your time. It'll work out well for you, So there's still a bit more upward movement on Verge here. I would probably just wait a little bit. Kind of looks like an evening star forming here, which means you can pull back a little bit down, back towards the moving average. So that's worth thinking about as well. Anyway, guys, that's most of the market. I think I'd just make it really quick today. If you want to have a look at something, maybe BitTorrent might have a bit of a run. But when you start seeing all these big wicks sort of popping out at the top here, it can indicate a bit of a reversal. It's sort of overdone. People are a bit unsure. You've got 2 dojis here which are quite unsure of market direction there. But people are sort of still pumping into this. It looks like they're expecting a bit more of a rise. This is the 30-minute. Let's go to the hour. Yeah, not too different. Let's go to the 4-hour. Yeah, so it's had this big peak, and that's sort of pushed it up to challenge this previous area here. You can see the wick sort of stopped right at that area. So I mean, if you get a pump, that's a little. If you can sort of trade these little areas, you're doing well. A bit of risk, but like that's 6%, just there. 7%. That's a pretty good gain if you're chucking $1,000 or something, or whatever you're sort of playing with. I wouldn't play too high on this. Just keep it small, and see what you can sort of get out of that. But mind you, as they move up, this is a really, really low coin. It's only 1.2 cents. So this kind of move can be quite beneficial. Put on your indicators. Let's do it over here. BTT. And I'll just use Bitfinex. Okay, so on my ribbons, on the daily, looking like a fair bit of a strong move towards the upside once these start crossing and breaking, if they can get a nice good push. But on the lower time scale, there's quite a bit of overbought area going on here, and pretty overbought on the 1 hour. So it's more likely that she's going to pull back a little bit first, and then maybe wait a day or two. But something to keep an eye on over the next few days is BTT, which is Bitcoin Torrent. Again, guys, you can use CoinSpot if you want to go after a big range of cryptos. If you live in Australia, you can just sign up with them. I'm not affiliated with these guys. I'm not making any money out of promoting this site. I use this site and another site in Australia called BTC Market, so you can use both of these. They're reliable, they're good, they're regulated under Australian law, so they're secure, and just got to be careful trading. So anyway, just want to play with a little bit of money, a little bit of sort of funds here and things like that. So don't put a lot onto the exchanges. If you want to just do basic trading, that's what you do. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. So I'll probably not do one tomorrow. Maybe I'll be back on Monday and we'll do a new one on Monday. Okay, so please like, please subscribe, do all the usuals, guys, share it around. If you know other people who are interested in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, send them over to the channel. And yeah, you can all sit down and watch it together and things like that. But happy day. See you next time.